the show of the week.
Hello and welcome to the first in a couple of very special shows of the week. In fact, they're shows of the day, they're that special. It's Tony Week and we're going to be covering a different Tony-nominated show every day this week. To start us off, we're going to talk about Fun Home. I've already talked about Fun Home in the show of the week. Last time I talked about Fun Home, I had only listened to it a couple of times and it was already starting to make an impression on me. Well, this show... I like this show a lot. One of the things that I think makes musical theater and theater in general so interesting is that it's a coalescence of various different art forms. Music writers and composers and musicians in the pit and singing actors on stage and choreographers and set designers and lighting designers, all in this giant tornado centered around this one singular point. Fun Home does that. It does that so well, and it does that by breaking so many rules. Most musicals start at the beginning and end at the end. There have been a couple exceptions that I could think of. Merrily We Roll Along takes place backwards. Hello Again is kind of a spattering of different songs, but that kind of feels more like a review. But Fun Home very particularly takes this so interesting and effective non-linear approach to the storytelling, which it inherited from its graphic novel, from its namesake. But a non-linear take on musical theater seems wacky, it seems dangerous, and it's new and exciting, and I don't know if it would work outside of the context of this story. The musical theater adage goes, when a character is feeling so much, when they're so filled with emotion that they can no longer talk about it, then they start to sing about it. Fun Home has a way of taking the little thing you didn't think was going to be the song and turning it into the song. Jangling keys or telephone wires or whatever. That's so cool. That is very effective storytelling. This is a musical that, even to a casual observer like me, you can tell that it is so finely and specifically crafted. Everything is done for a reason, with intention, in a specific order. Everything you change, everything you move, has to be with intent, has to be with a particular motivation. Why are we talking about that now? Why are we talking about the present now? Why are we talking about the past now? Why are we talking about college now? What is it that connects these disparate moments together? And I said in my yesterday video, the Tony Survival Guide, that there's something very distinctly human about this show, and I think that's kind of what it is. The way that we connect these tiny little, seemingly insignificant pieces of our lives together and try to form some meaning out of it. And it's messy. It doesn't have a happy ending, but it doesn't have a sad ending either. That's maybe one of the biggest ways in which this musical breaks a rule. So many fluffy musicals end with a marriage or end with a death. This one ends kind of somewhere in the middle. I mean, Alison's not getting married and, her father dies, but you knew he was going to die from the beginning. That's not the tragedy of it all. And her future life is also not the comedy or joy of it all. It's so messy and wonderful. And of course, I would be remiss if I weren't going to mention how many people comment that this is the first major musical at least, with a lesbian protagonist. And, it's 2015, thank God. What's great about it is it's not just a musical for gay people. There are a lot of those musicals out there too, musicals that are, you're as a gay person, you're not going to bring your parents to. I'm probably not going to bring my parents to Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. I might even feel uncomfortable bringing my parents to Rent if it was, early 2000s and I was a little younger. This is a musical about one person, a very real retelling of this person's life story that seems to find some way to relate to everyone. And that's so cool. That's why I love this kind of stuff. If you haven't listened to Fun Home yet, what the heck is wrong with you? Go listen to it right now. That's it for videos this week. I'm sure there'll be a graphic down here that's gonna tell you all the videos you're gonna see next week. And of course, the Tony Awards are on Sunday. And if you missed my video yesterday about your survival guide of the Tony Awards, you can watch that maybe over here. And if you're on mobile, well, thank you for watching me on your phone, and the links will be in the description. And that's all I've got for you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, that was really rambly. I hope some of that made sense.